Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed that one of the production lines of the FP-5 Flamingo long-range cruise missile was destroyed in a Russian strike, Military Watch magazine website reported. The latest Russian strike took place months after Moscow had reportedly targeted 4 Ukrainian defense industrial facilities, contributing to producing the long-range missile systems. The Flamingo long-range cruise missile has a range exceeding 3,000 kilometers and can strike targets across European Russia and into Siberia. It has a speed of Mach 0.75, making it one of the slowest missiles in the world, although it carries an above-average warhead size at 1,000 kilograms. The Ukrainian armed forces have placed a significant emphasis on the ability to strike high-value targets deep inside the Russian territory, with the most successful deep strike operation being conducted on June 1 last year, when a large-scale drone attack on multiple air bases across Russia's northern and western regions was launched from inside Russian territory under Operation Spider's Web. Ukrainian missile programs have relied heavily on German funding, with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz having announced in May 2025 that Berlin would finance Ukrainian production of long-range missiles.
Therefore, we will increase pressure on Russia. We are doing this to weaken Moscow's military machine. We also do this to pave the way for negotiations. I speak on behalf of Germany. In this regard, we will do everything we can to prevent Nord Stream from working. Fourth, today we talked about Germany's military support for Ukraine. I will stick to what I have already said. I will not go into details, but I can say that our military support will continue, and the length will be extended so that Ukraine can defend itself against Russian aggression, both now and in the future. In this regard, I want to emphasize something. We are funding a significant portion of the page in Ukraine, and our defense ministers will sign a statement of intent today to purchase long-range systems made in Ukraine, the so-called Ranger bars. And there will be no restrictions on long-range weapons. Ukraine will be able to fully defend and protect itself, as well as strike military targets outside Ukrainian territory. This is the beginning of a new form of military-industrial cooperation between our countries, which has great potential. I said that this afternoon we will sign a statement of intent between our defense ministers in this area. We are talking about close cooperation and the production of long-range weapons. We want to make this production possible. We also want to have joint production. We will support this and talk about the details publicly. We will intensify our cooperation, but first and foremost, we will make sure that the Ukrainian army receives everything it needs. What can we do to help Ukraine successfully defend itself and defend itself? In fact, we will also talk about this in our further conversations.
Russia continues its aerial attacks on Ukraine amid U.S.-brokered negotiations to end the 4-year-long war.
Ukraine has endured another night of fire. Dozens of Russian strike drones, along with ballistic and cruise missiles, pounded cities across the country, targeting critical energy infrastructure and leaving at least 1 person dead. Explosions were reported in Kyiv, in the Black Sea port of Odessa, and across central regions as air raid sirens sounded through the darkness. The energy grid was once again in the crosshairs, and as diplomacy falters, the war intensifies. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, Russia launched 50 missiles and 297 drones in the latest overnight assault. Air defense systems shot down or neutralized 33 missiles and 274 drones, officials said, but several strikes penetrated defenses and hit their intended targets.
President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that the attacks extended beyond Kyiv and Odessa to the regions of Dnipro, Kirovograd, Mykolaiv, Poltava and Sumy. The primary objective, he said, was the energy sector. However, residential buildings and railway infrastructure were also damaged. In the Kyiv region, Governor Mykola Kalashnik confirmed that at least one person was killed and 5 others were wounded. More than a dozen homes were damaged across 5 districts.
In Odessa, Governor Oleg Kipper reported that a nighttime drone strike ignited fires at energy facilities, though emergency crews later extinguished the flames. President Zelenskyy accused Moscow of prioritizing military escalation over diplomatic engagement. Moscow continues to invest in strikes more than in diplomacy, he wrote, noting that in just 1 week, Russia launched more than 1,300 drones, over 1,400 guided aerial bombs and 96 missiles at Ukraine. Zelenskyy also calls blast in Ukraine's western city of Lviv a cynical and brutal attack by Russia.
Today there were several and other law enforcement officers regarding the investigation of the terrorist attack in Lviv. It's difficult to give it any other classification. This was indeed a terrorist attack, cynical and brutal. 2 explosions, the second occurring just as emergency services arrived on the scene. 25 people have been injured. Unfortunately, 1 person, a female police officer, has died. The circumstances of this terrorist attack are currently being fully analyzed. Many facts are already available. The perpetrators were recruited through the Telegram platform. The organization behind this terrorist attack is Russian. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, the National Police of Ukraine, and the Security Service of Ukraine will present the full details to the public. Today, I have given instructions to develop and implement such measures and a response that would make similar crimes absolutely impossible. Our law enforcement officers already possess significant experience in counteracting these. Dozens of analogous situations have been successfully averted. Ukrainian law enforcement officers are consistently working to counteract these types of recruitment activities, and there is a clear need for increased activity and much greater involvement from the communities themselves, the active participation of local leaders, governmental institutions, indeed everyone, to effectively reduce Russia's capabilities for orchestrating terrorist attacks and acts of sabotage deep within the Ukrainian rear. We have intelligence data that Russians are going to continue to do such things, these actual attacks on Ukrainians. We need more protection for our people.
There was no immediate response from Moscow. Russia has repeatedly denied deliberately targeting civilians, arguing instead that Ukraine's energy infrastructure constitutes a legitimate wartime objective because it supports military operations. Kyiv rejects that assertion, saying the sustained attacks are designed to harm civilians and undermine national resilience. The latest bombardment comes as the United States attempts to broker a peace agreement between the two sides. Talks held in Geneva on February 17th and 18th failed to deliver a breakthrough. Russia continues to demand that Ukraine withdraw from parts of the eastern Donbas region under Russian control, a proposal Kyiv has firmly rejected. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha described the strikes as terror that cannot be normalized and urged the international community to impose tougher sanctions against the Kremlin.